Because you're the ones who survived childhood. I was level 2 by the time I was fucking 2 years old, motherfucker.
My son died at level 0.
Didn't even finish making his character sheet.
I looked out the window and watched the monsters slaughtering the villagers, and then in my mind I made myself the monster's ally, so in turn I received EXP.
I was level 20 before the age of 6. Go get him. So, last time on Festering Faiths. After finally winning the court case and heading out of Zonwell, heading full south towards Stratham, be able to grab an extra cart and a few other supplies before going to the arid lands past the pit to Oelbel and Plufast, a unfortunate happenstance had struck between the noise and the cacophony that was happening in the night, all the information that had originally been kept with bounty leader Prexon, now lost, seemingly unrevivifiable. Pretty much. After that happenstance and seeing that a large troop of knights / paladins had initially started setting out, having full knowledge of what they were hunting and going for, also started heading southwest. Not the airlines, don't worry about it. In the midst of these travels, along with Junus Lucius, Otwin, and Bailey, you had taken some time to be able to hear some of the stories that were going on back at the Iron Kingdom, the various wards that they had to take care of, as well as the fact that Otwin and Bailey trying to keep everyone safe to the best of their degree as they were traveling. Finally, after a few days of travel, heading southwest, halfway towards Stratham and out of Zonwell, the moon had risen, but this time not during the night. An eclipse of Ximon had overtaken the day, quickly washing over the landscape in a deep purple. As this took place, the horrible seeds of fear were immediately planted in the realization of what was about to take place during the midst of the day. You saw giants, skeletons, all of them, desiccated zombies and bodies, gaunt, thin ones chasing through the forest. Old battle lines across the other way of Warforged long broken, destroyed. Curiously enough, dragons as well. Corpses that were desiccated, destroyed, and others recreated into that of a Warforged. Others, smaller wormlings or younger adults that were used into more golemancy and made smaller wormlings to help the front lines. Full regiments of skeletal soldiers that had covered the south ends of the travel. Full regiments of other Warforged soldiers, and then other Titan Forged that were standing in towering form behind them, getting ready to assail each other. As this moved forward, Judas Lucius found himself ecstatic to be able to fight the enemy once again that he so desired to face. After having a happy swath of cutting down various giants and opening up the field with meteor, he continued demonstrating arcane prowess, to which at the same time some of you had started helping mow down some of these lines, but also quickly realized that as you were trying to take refuge within your Galder's Tower and this small bubble dome for safety, that there wasn't enough space. Valiant Fitz were constantly running around, trying to defend themselves. The huge amount of the party that was still there, along with the 2 horses, could not be able to hide safely within, managing to keep some distance as the skeletal giant had crushed some of the cart, as well as being able to focus and target a larger portion of the group as best as it could, as they all started making their way towards Junius's mansion. In the midst of this, Harbinger and a few others decided to head out to fight a few more to assist and maybe get a little XP on the side. assist with some of the kills and make your way cutting swaths through the field. To which, after one of the titanic forms, Bloodbane had reared his ugly head once again, possessing one of the old avatars and replicating and refurbishing the old body, bringing it back to a fresh, renewed strength. Immediately bared himself down onto the party, trying to bring every single one of you down as fast as he could and trying to claim back Harbinger. In the midst of his bloodlust, Junius had let himself get lost in the slaughter and continued to pursue away from the party. Otmund and Bailey quickly rushing out to try and meet Bloodbane head-on with the rest of you. To which, at that point, you had damaged the Titan Forge that he had used to an excellent degree until you seen that he had etched new runes into the hammer once more. A familiar set. Ones that you were hoping never to see again until Mentor, but they had arrived. After he slammed it down, he used the desiccated bodies and started pulling them in, almost like a vacuumous energy was giving them refurbished and new purpose to breathe once more. As all these bodies seemed to enter into each other, rebuilding, restacking, assembling, you saw the avatar who was originally there, the Warforged Dragon, being remolded and reshaped until repossessed by Bloodbane. And you saw that he had added more heads, more jets to it, the flails over the body as well as the tails, and immediately started bearing down. At that point, Junius tried to interpose himself as he finally caught himself from his bloodlust, but was prompt to slap down very quickly by this new avatar form. After seeing this demonstration of power, everyone immediately decided to start taking it back foot towards the mansion door, especially after the very vicious, devastating dragon fire that had erupted from the Warforged form that he had crafted on the field that day. Thankfully, many were able to avoid the cacophonous amount of curious oil that had jetted forth from the chest of this dragon and covered the field. After this demonstration, and as well as the slime slowly rupturing up from the various forms of desiccated giants and starting to bear down on people, you managed to burn them away, thankfully, as they were fairly vulnerable to fire. Their desiccated forms not able to resist the slinging of the multiple spells that people had had. And finally got back to the mansion all in one piece, more or less at that point. Shintri, Nadzin, Nargos, as well as Gileth had sat there terrified beyond reasoning and rational to be able to even have the sense of stepping out and just watching all of you fighting out there, refusing to set foot forth. Deck just terrified within Maester's armor until finally dumped at the mansion, as well as Otmund and Bailey refusing to leave your sides and attempting to help as best as they can, even though one of them almost went inactive at one point. After the devastating wealth of strength, decided to finally fly off and leave you be with your closed mansion doors. As far as you know, heading towards Zonova. That was almost 9 hours ago now. Able to recover, read a few books, some of the archives and history. R37, helping Elaine find a few pieces of research. Alvin and Bailey trying to play cards and keep things more light-spirited to the situation, even though it was very devastating. After that rest, the light of Zymon still seems to be decorating the landscape, curiously enough. Lock the door. Alright.
Does everybody else see that it is still purple?
They do.
But why? Why
We
is
just
it
stick our
still
head around
purple?
like Scooby-Doo characters, like all on top of each other, just like still purple. Yep.
Okay, what's outside? We peek enough. Are they still having a war?
Currently, there is no more war. Though you do hear the occasional thunderous sound of and then sounds like the splintering of a tree as it falls down.
Sounds like it's getting closer, so I close the door.
Alright.
Quick, lure it in with some Mars bars so that way we can, kill it for XP.
What if it's a big undead titan or something?
Yeah, lure it in.
No!
You sit there in the doorway like, help me, Angela Anaconda. Oh no, it's Ninny Poo.
Oh no, I got too much EXP. I'm stuck in the door. Step adventure.
Oh.
You do know full well that in the forest themselves seem to have thin giants. The ones that had originally tried to worm their way into the mansion.
Do they come in individual packets?
Some of them.
Are they assembly required like Bionicles?
A little bit.
We're getting too deep now.
You already have a headpiece.
We just need the rest of the pieces. Make it collectible.
Collect the whole set.
Steel addresses everybody. So what's the plan?
Well, usually if something like this happens, the idea is stay inside until it's over.
Oh, this has happened before.
Like 2 times in my life, probably.
Okay, well, that sounds reasonable. How long would this usually take?
Till it's done. Usually only like a night.
We can stay here another day. Or, until the mansion spits us out.
At that point, even in the facilitation of it, I would be able to recast it at that point.
Yeah, it probably isn't worth trying to travel during the moon.
What do you mean it's not worth it for the XP train?
I mean, it's a lot of unreasonable danger, but perhaps we could go out and discover something that only happens during times like this. Perhaps another one of those Xymon meteors.
Oh, hell yeah. Double meteor power.
Just speculating. It is definitely a much better idea to not do anything. What do you all think?
I can't really deny that looking around during the moon could yield some kind of interesting information.
Some answer to the mystery of why the moon does this.
I pull the purple rock out of my bag. Is it doing anything particularly weird?
Seems to be thrumming with life. No longer the heartbeat, but a steady just hum of power.
Quick, eat it.
No.
Yes, dissolve it in your essence.
Dissolve it in your ass.
It's a suppository!
Ah,
Zymon's suppository. No, I don't want this blessing.
I feel the power! It's coursing through my ass? What the fuck?
What have you done to me?
Oh, my sphincter!
It's a very good Vegeta voice. It's almost spot on.
I'm going to cast sending to base A.
To who?
My mentor.
Oh.
Passing say.
yeah, that's what I thought. Wait, mental. Where?
Like, hey base A, it's Leonis. It's really purple here still. It's been going for a while now. Any advice would be appreciated. Thank you. Bye.
I am glad you are safe on this cursed moon night. Unfortunately, it seems to be the one that's testing those who are worthy to survive. Take caution and stay somewhere safe, or wherever you are.
Yes, we are worthy to survive. Because we're so good at hiding.
Hang on a second.
Hiding is a skill.
Okay, good.
It's part of stealth. It does make you worthy.
Okay. I contacted my teacher, and she just said we should hide.
Yeah,
Sounds like a plan.
reasonable.
Rational.
Okay, who wants to play cards for 8 hours?
Yeah, I'm about done with all my books on airships, sure.
Everybody wants to.
What are we doing?
Cards.
Ew.
Oh wait, no, we established that I've only got half of the card deck.
Why do you only have half a card deck?
Told you I found it in a tavern.
You didn't get the chance to pick up the other cards.
No, they just went there. It was a pack from somebody. Yeah, but then you'll tell what the scuffed cards are.
Yeah, but then don't use the real cards, only use scuffed cards.
Oh, then we've just made our own cards.
Yeah.
What I could do is I could use fabricate to make cards. You know how like they have the
Ah,
how like when you make like an airplane model, it's like a like framework that all the parts are on. You just do that with all the cards. So it's one item. You just break them apart.
I honestly would allow it, because it's just a playing deck. Scuffed metal cards.
okay, I've got.
Yep.
I
Do you have
actually
any scrap
have
material around?
No.
Yeah.
No. I need my limbs.
No, you don't.
I have
Your limbs
some.
aren't scrap material.
I do have an actual dice set. We could use them to like play a little role-playing game and make characters and use the dice to roll results on how we do things.
Don't be ridiculous. That'd never work.
Yeah,
Uh,
who would ever want to play a game like that?
Just a thought I had.
Don't ever think again.
I'm sorry.
Turn head off. Nazia, Junius, you have scrap material?
I do. I do keep some of it here. What kinds of materials would you require?
I mean, I was just gonna make a whole set of playing cards out of them, so pretty much anything.
I'll get some of the better quality parchment.
That's actually a good idea. I was thinking about making cards out of metal.
They'd be unnecessarily heavy.
I think that would be delightful as well. I'll get extra. They'll come back with, some fine parchment and a silver ingot.
Alright.
What's the ingot for?
Silver cards.
Why?
'Cause baller.
It's
Okay.
cool.
How many people you know played with silver cards? Pure silver cards.
Bunch of pussies.
4 people.
If they were gold, they would fold over too easily.
Then Rox will sit down on the floor and fabricate together some card sets.
Alright. You get a nice set of paper cards. And then a nice set of silver cards. That does take a little bit of time. It's just like the snapping them off from each other.
Yeah, I had to make them like, otherwise we'd be making one card at a time, and that wouldn't be very fun.
Oh, we've got to snap them off of a grid like it's a Warhammer set.
Yeah, so it's all one item.
Nice.
So just print some Warhammers.
Yeah, we could play Warhammer.
Quick, you got an inbuilt 3D
Figurines.
printer, don't you, Junius Lucius?
Well, actually...
Just opens up his chest, there's just a 3D printer.
The Games Workshop copyright Modron teleport scene. Excuse me.
Counterspell! You're using a Modron from D&D Wizards of the Coast. I countersue your ass!
You'll be in prison for 60 years for this, Junius. Goodbye.
But what about my marine space?
Feeble cursed one. One sec, let's make a card table.
Alright. So, as Rylax becomes the poker master of the night.
According to my background, I legally can't lose gambling.
Why?
Josh has to tell me if I'm gonna win or not. Legally.
That's hilarious.
For reasons, my background is gambler.
Never tell me the odds.
Is a 50-50 outcome the best outcome, or like too good to be true? Because it's like, I mean, I'd say 50-50 is pretty good odds no matter what. You know?
Yeah.
I crack open the door. Is there still a large banging noise?
Yes there is. What's your passive perception?
Like 9 or something? Let me check. 10.
10. Alright, you can see this.
Oh. hidden?
Over the tree line. As it's starting to walk towards the road and across the way, unabated by anything.
I was right.
A massive earth elemental.
Oh. Oh.
What a lad!
That's the whole ass tree it got in its hand.
How did Tiny get in here?
Dude, it's like that, in Lostrana when that ice titan just walked through us and we nearly died.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like
But the Earth one.
they're related or something.
Yeah. Yeah, you close that door.
Yes, please close the door.
Junius. Psst.
Can we move a lane away from the door?
Mm-hmm.
Junius.
Yes.
What does Tartarus look like?
Well, earthy and craggy, but not so much with a humanoid shape like that. Even if that is a more grotesque weightlifter shape. He is more fixed to a semi-humanoid shape, tighter fit to the waist, coarse porous amounts of sand, and almost like a emerald sheen pearl that sits as his core for his head.
So nothing like that. I'll close the door.
Fucking Christ. Of course it's obsidian,
Of course.
because it's glistening. Cursed. Instantly cursed.
We're playing cards.
I made y'all some cards. Except Twilex made them.
I'm pretty sure that Junius said that he just allowed all of us in when he made it. Like, he just included us in the permissions, then he went inside.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, if they need me, they can come and get us.
There's more joke about that fucking giant sticking his head through the door.
Oh yeah. Well, he wasn't able to fully get through, even though his torso was squeezing. He was stabbed. Oh. There's a huge text box. I don't know, man. Elaine seems to have, like, wonder vision right now.
Lane's on drugs.
Go fish.
Go fish?
Fish
I
go.
don't see any water around here.
Is that not how he plays this game?
Thought we were playing poke her.
Ooh. Elaine?
No, like, poker.
I don't know how to play poker, but I have heard of it. But
Do any of us know how to actually play this game?
you brought it up. Do you not know?
No, I just used to play with the cards.
So are we actually going to do anything with these cards then?
Junius, do you have any books on how poker works?
37, please go get them the games book.
Yes, dead.
See,
I mean, I'm proficient in gambling. I'm sure I could explain it.
oh yeah, you can. Just
Oh yeah, surely you know how to cook.
gambling, I'm in. Alright, so R37 will still go get the games book just in case there's other extra games that you wish to play with these cards. We'll set it on the table, but obviously Elaine will be able to teach all of you how to play poker and blackjack, Texas Hold'em, and more. Backgammon, war, Go Fish.
Backgammon actually played with cards.
A different form.
I've seen the word tons of times, but I always thought it involved some kind of weird checkers.
There's a
board.
lot. It's like a very weird board.
Yeah. Then there's also fucking Setback and all that shit. Gin Rummy.
I've heard of that one, yeah.
This one, bullshit.
Alright, how many days are we stuck in here, Josh?
Alright. So, first day will pass as you spend your time learning some cards. Dexter's will start to explore every corner that he can wiggle himself into. Otto and Bailey are tending to their equipment, making sure that they are full, well, and ready. I'm sure Nistri is a little on edge, but occasionally playing Dexter's and comes over to play a few rounds of cards. You can see that Shintri and company are taking some time, and then occasionally will come over to take interest in a round of cards as well. Though Shintri is fucking awful at gambling. Does eventually reach that 24-hour point, as Lucius will mark out the time so everyone's not unceremoniously just dumpstered onto the floor. Be able to step out and you still see the purple light. At this point, you know full well that this spell has lasted a full 24, and that the light is still going on outside. As Lucius is taking a moment to re-prepare the spell and get the door fully open, you can hear those with the blessing or holding on to the crystals from Zymon. Come to the forest.
Huh.
Oh.
Elaine's like, get the fuck out of here! Well, Elaine, just like your so fucking well-placed ability is called, I'll never tell you the odds.
Well,
Legally.
This also isn't a downtime activity that involves gambling. This is a risking your life to go to a strange forest.
Well,
risk my
it's,
life in the downtime.
it's fine. My personality trait is I'm one of Lady Luck's favored. Anything I try is destined to succeed. So this is going to go great.
Doesn't mean you have to try.
Clearly, it's a good gamble.
It legally has to succeed
Yeah, legally.
within the rules of 5th edition.
Totally.
Anybody else hear that?
You're what?
The voice in my head.
I did hear something as well.
No, we
Beckoning
cannot hear
me
your
to
thoughts.
go outside.
Currently,
We
you
are
are.
outside
Outside
right now.
bad.
We are literally outside right now.
Yeah.
This is re-preparing the door.
Yes.
Oh,
beckoning me to enter the forest.
If I knew we were outside, I would be a lot more panicked. Why would
Oh, because the mansion shut down and he needs to be prepared.
Really, it's got like a 1 minute cast time, right?
It's true, but within that 1 minute, you're being called.
Okay.
Well, on one hand, we've never been talked to
Roll fish.
directly. Leoris, the table isn't out here.
She just. I see that.
Yeah, I would have ejected.
Yeah, because he didn't make it.
I mean, if it's made from materials spawned by the mansion, then it despawns.
No,
So,
these are his personal materials.
Oh, so it's real!
Yes.
And it is out here.
yeah, also relatively fabricated as well.
Yeah, the table.
You should have heard it as
table's
well,
kind of
Steel.
rubbish.
You got the blessing, right?
Yep. The
I
only
know
one.
yours didn't.
Yeah, I think Leoris is the only one who did.
Nistri?
Nistri has the
Nistri
gift
has
as
it.
well.
Yeah. Literally
Yeah,
everyone but
you
you.
fought a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Anyways, you've never been talked to through the blessing before, so it could be really good or really bad.
Hell yeah, I'm keen. Let's go.
Harbinger's the last person we should probably be taking advice from on this.
I think it might be good for just a few of us to check it out.
Would a few of us go when all of us can go? Strength in numbers.
No, split the party.
No.
I think it's safer if we go together.
Yeah, I think Nistri should stay here while the rest of us go.
Guard the trail.
Yeah.
Well, I was just thinking if it was just a couple of us, it could be a lot faster.
If you want to be safe, I can just send my echo.
Pretty sure I'm faster than you anyway.
Now, we all know I am the fastest after all.
Yes, we did race.
Yeah, it's proven.
I've picked up a new spell, which means that may not be the case anymore, Leoris.
And how long does your spell last?
Time?
Wow, so unnecessarily mysterious.
Can last, between 10 minutes and as many spell slots as I want to spend on it. Alright, well, are we going to bring the drow?
Let's not.
They should stay here. It will be safer with Junius.
Well, let's just wait for him to build the door and then let's go.
Sure, a minute has passed.
Oh yeah, at that point, end of the conversation, as you see the door open again.
Oh god, how's this table going to fit through? It's 25 feet wide.
He can
Yeah,
cast.
sadly,
He'll cast Enlarge Reduce.
Oh, okay.
that's very nice.
God.
Yes. Anyways, I don't think it's going to be a trap, but I don't think it's going to be good.
Well, that paladin we met last time told us that Simon loved testing people. There's probably some sort of challenge ahead.
That paladin was also very bad.
Seemed fine to me.
To you.
Anyways, I suppose we should go check it out.
All right. So that Lucius acknowledges what you're doing, obviously listening into the conversation. We'll take the others back inside just to make sure that they have safety. And you start heading out into the forest. Is everyone going?
Yes.
This is the only smart thing to do.
Yeah.
Kidnap you for a time. And then you can go back to the poker too. Missing someone. Where is...
No, you put Crumb still on top of me.
My bad. Alright. So, heading out into the woods not far, you notice a very distinct lack of the giants that had originally harassed Fitz and Valiant. Many of the broken areas are now curiously gnarled and knotted, start to symbolize almost reciprocating patterns going through knots that are tying with each other. Start to see very distinctly that the floor gives way to purposed cobble roots that almost marble across the way. And very quickly realize that these aren't stone walkways. These are all made of wood, but have been almost purposely smoothed over as you proceed forward. Almost like an opening procession before you break through the woods and start to reach an area of soft reds and purples, and then small lakes and waters of teal, just like the moon of Hothlara that wash over on the sides. In this area of curious crimson starlight, the trees that are symmetrically lined, large pathway, and then ahead of you, you take note of a figure who was almost seemingly difficult to spot at first as they come into image before you. See the beautiful luminescent gold crescent symbol behind them that swirls slowly. The flowing waters that trickle at the sides, and though you would imagine this place to be more of a chaotic form, very blissful. So you see this before you. A woman made of gnarled wood, antlers like a stag, and the flowing arcane energies, almost like you sit deep in the wealth of an ancient rooted tree. The bark and the wood and the slow falling trickle of the water echoing through this chamber. You can see that even though the walls themselves sit almost weathered by age, constantly shifting and growing, like the tree is constantly aging and climbing upwards. This would be the basement, the den, the cellar of the dwelling of Zymon. At this point you see the gnarled roots and bodily form of this goddess looking down at you with voidless eye sockets, but knowing that something is still there behind the darkness looking at you. Looks to the rest of you, and even in this very intimidating presence, still feels very welcoming. I am glad that most of you have taken my gift. It is nice to see champions that might be able to finish the task this time. Though, I have seen the disease that precedes you. Yes, I am Zyme. I bear witness that you released my brother. I've come to offer you another piece to complete the weapon. That also acts as a key. Be able to free the others from the vaults. I had used a great wealth of it to brute the way of my brother's door. Though unfortunately for the others will more depend upon you. Do not fear all of them. Some that are still filled with rage anger despite this can be of great asset to the rest of you.
So are you saying your brother's room was easy to open because you had been battering against it for a while?
I have weathered at that door for many a year. Till eventually the fissure led the way to the restrooms originally arriving there. They have my gift, though they left the door closed. As to why, I do not know fully.
The restrooms do?
Yes.
That'd mean we're evil, Cromsteel.
No, we have to go and kill them now. To repent.
In fact, actually, them not opening up the ancient god vault
Yeah.
is remarkably responsible.
Yes.
Unlike us, that were like, vault, go open.
Clarineth and Dask were mighty champions. They had originally felled the great worm that lived in the northern mountain. Of course, it was not alone and not without gifts. I offer to you another piece of my gift if you would be willing to take it. Though I do apologize if it bear heavy upon your soul. Though it might be necessary. There is more than just what you immediately know to be dangerous in the world growing in the south. So, she will extend her hand out for any of those willing to step forward for the second boon.
Oh, you better believe I do.
Yeah, sure. First one wasn't too bad.
Your brother told us to be wary of you.
Hang on, let Harbinger go first. Just on me.
That's pretty rude of you.
You offer me strength, and I will gladly take it to destroy those who have done me wrong.
See? Harbinger agrees.
It delights me to see one with no fear. With that, she will reach out and you see the twining bark and wood that makes up her body reach out to you, Harbinger. as it touches onto your hand as you hold it out, and you feel it sink heavily, like it's tearing through your arm and anchoring itself for a moment. You can feel the wood roots growing, connecting with your nerves. You lose 1 hit die.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh.
Do I roll a hit die and then subtract that from my total health? Or do I just lose a short rest hit die?
You lose 1 short rest hit die permanently while you have this boon.
Yes, sir.
That sounds okay.
Whenever you invoke this, it'll require the cost of a hit die, not permanently though. Be able to add another d6, and as so long as you hold a shard of Xymon, manifest a weapon of your desire.
No, that's like basically perfect for him.
The wood would be the haft and handle, the shard, the metal and blade. I warn you. No true advice. I will not take more than you give. And I will share my strength in turn with you. And give you what you need to best those who stand in your way and those who might punish your family.
Hell yeah, give her a second hit. Nice.
Would you want to?
You know what? I'm curious.
Alright.
Thanks, Test Nubby.
So, especially with that, almost a sense of delight and elation kind of washes over her. At this point, I would imagine, Leoris, you were probably beyond horrified watching this. She happily reaches out once more, empowering the wood that has anchored itself to your arm. Offering you just one more hit dice, or just seeing how far you push this boon?
How far can we push this, guys?
Up to you.
Depends how many hit dice you're willing to give up.
You've got a total of 9.
How gibbs do you want to be?
It's now 8.
Cat bit me.
Don't do it, you fool!
Told it.
No, that's okay. What if I only have 5 total hit die? That's all I need, right?
Alright. So with that, you give up another 2 hit dice of your life force to Xymon.
Wasn't he doing 3 more?
I've given a total of 4.
Total 4. Oh, alright.
Dies.
Turns you inside out.
So, you do reduce yourself by 1 hit die. So you can roll that if you like. With the sacrifice of 4 hit dice to your life force. You gain a +1 to your AC permanently to whatever form of armor you take.
It's there, Jake. Calm down.
You also gain a health regen of 2 per turn, so long as you are not inactive. And along with that, you're able to call upon thorn barriers to protect yourself and manipulate the field, which are the tree roots of Xymon.
I'm gonna need to get a detailed description of all of this so I can write down later.
So. And then
Thank you, sir.
there you are.
Wait, that's mentor. No!
You've
She
been
falls off the
had.
mask. It's mental.
Oh, now your soul crushed.
Back in the pit.
Thanks for their help, idiot. Peace.
But as these roots take place in your body, almost as if they're fighting the metal itself and resetting them back to bone and flesh a little bit. Especially with the regenerative properties of this weird wood flowing through your body. You see the same waters, and you realize that it's not just lakes and pools, but the very sap of the tree, the life's blood of her domain dripping into you, allowing it to mend itself. So, Harbinger, you are now, at this point, permanently at, yeah, you spent 4, so 5 hit dice.
Yep.
Well, is there a condition for the 2 health regen, or is it just on all the time?
On all the time.
Well, you don't need to short rest for health anyway. You're fine.
Every 6 seconds I heal 2 hit points.
Yeah, you don't need hit dice for short rests anymore.
Yeah.
Might as well give her the rest of them.
At this point, as you do that, Leora, Simon immediately takes note of you. I see you do not trust me, and you call another into my domain.
Given me no reason to trust you.
Do you not see that I offer people strength to learn, to jade themselves against the horrors of everything that could surround them? Allow them to be able to fight back at the tyrants that claim the throne that is not theirs.
feeling the pain and suffering your presence brings upon them.
I would not offer suffering if it were not a teacher.
It's not the only way.
But it is the fastest way.
That alone is reason not to trust you.
Strike, if you will. You know already that I'm already in a prison. Suppose you will pray that you don't find mine.
I do, I think I will leave it happily locked.
A shame. I would happily offer you strengths unknown to you.
I have no need of your gifts.
I'm gonna step forward to like where Harbinger was when you got the blessing. Just hold my hand up. Take it back. I don't want it anymore either.
You see kind of a sad, sorrowful look upon her face. It kind of meshes from the gnarled roots. It's a shame. Seems both of you have learned enough from suffering.
Your brother told us not to trust you. And he seemed much more respectable.
Very well. I will respect the trust and naivety of my brother. She will pull her gift from you, and it feels almost like the wind is ripped from your lungs for a moment. Elaine, you lose a hit die. Not permanently, though. Just feel the vitality drained away from you.
And the Zymon's blessing is gone.
No longer invocable.
Good. I'm gonna go step back behind Leoris. And just nod to her as I walk past her.
The rest of you.
I don't know. Perhaps I was too hasty as well. I accepted a gift without really understanding what it meant.
I see.
Power is, after all, never given for free.
Sadly not in this world. Even the divine still require fervor, even for as many gifts as they give.
I would like to be left free as well. Perhaps one day when I know you better.
Very well. The same will reach forth, pull the essence from you, Rax. See the energies return back to Simon. Lose a hit die. He just gives all 9. Turns into a full treant there on the spot.
Oh
He just-
my god.
Literally a tree.
I will take your boon. Not because I like you, but because in Father Einstrad's Ascendance, he used the power of the giants against the giants.
A wise
I
god
feel this is
indeed.
quite similar.
You would not be wrong.
Don't expect me to pray to you.
I do not. The suffering you sustain and stride through life as you protect others is enough. She will happily reach out her hand as you see the roots gnarled and crooked start to reach out towards yours.
Reach out with my left arm and I give her 3 hit dice.
Alright. You receive the weapon of Zymon, the extra d6, so in total the 2d6 when you invoke it upon. Permanently lose your 1 hit die for that one, and then the extra for the 1 AC. And then upon the 3rd, regaining 2 HP every turn, so long as you're not at 0.
Okay.
So, with that, he looks to the rest of you. Suffer well. Become stronger. Fear not the monsters that roam the woods or the darkness. You will become stronger than them very quickly. With that, she looks to you, Leor, specifically. You feel like shadows closing in as she starts to push you out of her domain fully. But at the same time, you see in the silhouette of the trees and the shadows behind her dragons, wolves, trolls, all sorts of monstrosities and things, dire beasts that Elistray hunts that would harm the world.
Fine, we were just leaving.
If anyone would like to, you can go ahead and roll me an insight as to fully what her domain pertains to.
B.
Oh, hell yeah, brother!
Right onto GM. Also, on the way out, I will invoke my channel divinity to create a protective moonlight that pushes back the darkness.
Yeah, I'll stick close to Leor's.
With that, Elaine, you probably see the most terrifying of things between the shadows and all trying to creep in on you and push you out. You can hear the grunts, the growls, the heinous scraping of claws on dirt, wood, and even metal. The soft rumble of the earth itself even seems to be agitated by the very presence of this. For Harbinger and Elaine, it's very obvious. Leoris has some suspicions upon it. Zaimun is not only the god of monstrosities in this area for what she's created, but the goddess of suffering. Especially with the factor of that and within her domain, not only creating creatures and nightmarish torments, but even within her own domain, not having a throne. Just locked in her own everlasting torment, constantly getting stronger and regenerating from it. She tears herself down again, time and time again. In an odd way, like the forest, growing over and over, expanding and choking things out to the point of suffering until it burns down again and has to start all over. With that, Simon, for those who especially welcomed her blessing, I'm more than happy to, on another blessed day like this, allow you back in her domain. And lets you walk out freely of your own volition. The one whose IP banned is Leoris for sure.
I just got kicked out of the server.
Oh,
So Josh, when I rolled that 7 on the hit die, is that how much health? Is that how much health I removed from my total health?
yes.
Oh, am I doing that too?
No, you did not give 4 total Crom Steel.
Ooh.
The 4th is when you start pulling your own life energy
How
for
many
the
did
spells.
you give Crom?
You have 3. 3 was the good amount, apparently.
Yeah.
I can now
Apparently.
cast Thorn Wall.
That is pretty cool.
Isn't that just yet another bad druid spell?
Dawn Wall's a pretty alright spell.
Pretty
Yeah,
alright.
Orwell's pretty good.
Okay.
It's just, normally you don't really want to cast it because that's the level of druid spells where you start to get decent things. It's still a good spell.
As a fighter, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how you'll use that in combat.
When she,
Pull
when,
people into the thorns!
when we leave her domain, is the eclipse still going?
It is going, but it's starting to wane. Though it does bring the curiosity of that you are not her first champions.
Well,
Yeah, the Rasdorns were, and they seemed to not like it. And I respect them. Just tend to lure us. Thank you for standing up for yourself there. If you didn't, I probably would have made a horrible choice.
And glad I was able to inspire you.
And I would like to thank you, Elaine, for bringing up the idea of just simply giving back the blessing. I thought I was just going to be stuck with it forever.
Yes, once the Jade Warrior warned us about how terrible his sister was, I've been thinking that I didn't want it anymore.
Well, I just realized I was putting someone between myself and Shoth. That's not correct. How many more gods are we going to meet? This is getting ridiculous. Well, at the moon meeting, there might be time for more round of cards.
Let's see. I always have to remember everyone's passive perception.
16.
Not worth mentioning. Is the person trying to sneak up on us is wearing 60 bells and wiggling like a man having a seizure, I'm not going to notice.
Also 10.
So, question is this what I'm supposed to do? All of the horns?
Correct. Except
The saving throw should be more than that, hopefully.
the DC would be 15.
If it's a natural ability, it's probably your calm.
Or it could just be a flat amount.
It's a flat
Yeah,
amount.
if I had...
It's DC 15.
okay. I put it as my con anyway, just because that puts it at 15.
So...
I cast that once a day, I assume.
So long as you have hit dice.
Oh. It costs hit dice to use.
I mean, the first one's free. You can keep expending it for extra hit dice.
Oh, cool.
That's pretty cool.
First one's free!
Imagine if
Yes,
I gave
that'd be
all
good
9
shit.
hit dice, and then it's like, you can expend more for hit dice. Fuck!
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to summon your new weapon because it cost a hit die to summon.
Yeah, but I think I'd also turn into just a big branch at that point.
What do you make? Club. So, curiously enough, those with a 14 passive perception take notice of a particular clinking sound and see a soft wisp of smoke. Not like Zymon's when you were in her realm. See a soft silhouette just beyond the edge of the tree.
Alright, let's head back extremely slowly, not cautiously.
Of course.
There's a lot of wondering about. You need me to carry you.
I'm
Neistra
fine.
will point out the silhouette. Someone behind that tree.
Is it
Now.
a wayward pervert?
Curious little waif.
A waifu?
Someone or something.
Someone. Saw the hat.
A hat.
Is it a
Neistra,
fancy hat, like Ghost?
more flat.
Close is the tree.
It's only 40 feet away.
Okay. I cast darkness on the tree and then run over to it.
You run over and you just be wait, please. Foremost doesn't mean anything wrong.
What's he doing?
Well, that's good, because I actually also can't see you.
Right.
Mostly just to make it harder to run.
I'll end the darkness.
Greetings. Forgive me for prying, but
It's very dangerous out here. Why are you alone?
things that bring to my attention. Curios good for alchemy, especially on nights like tonight. You'll see he goes to step in your direction in the dim light. He's there for a moment, Lyris, and appears beside you, Cromsteel.
Oh,
Very clearly shadow jaunting. Holds up what looks like tree roots, gnarled like Zymon's realm. These rare.
hey.
Rare beyond comparison. But you saw her, didn't you? I saw you
Hey
walk.
guys, I was right about the unique things only appearing on this night.
Yeah, we did meet Zymon, or at least something that claimed to be Zymon.
Oh yeah, we did meet the god. The moon. Yeah.
What was she like?
She was a big naked tree.
Yeah. A big naked woman made out of wood, with no eyes.
So not much has changed.
She seemed desperate.
Desperate. Calling out. Almost needy. You see him step again, like, over to you, Elaine. This is the first time you've seen Phobos actually walking around and performing acts usually estranged, and realizing why he vanishes so easily sometimes for the many forms of him.
Yeah, she was very eager for assistance.
Then another attempt is coming.
Escape attempt, I assume?
Things like this have happened in the past. Though you were still growing up, I'd imagine. Points his gnarled claw. You see this one's coming from just behind his neck, at the base between his shoulder blades. Others have offered her help. Though, curiously enough, she denies it before. Now immediately begs for it. Something worse is definitely afoot.
Thank you for your speculation.
Just back over to you. Speculation is for those who have unobserved the situation. She's reached the end of her leash. The silver lining of being a god is no longer tantalizing. The length that she has bled, she might be coming to an end, which would be a sad situation, as I wouldn't have any more tincture remedies.
Don't tell me you make all of your potions out of Zyamon-related things.
They are additives to some of my tinctures.
I feel a little bit gross now.
Do not worry. They are refined. They do not have her tainted essence. There is another.
Oh, she has tainted essence. Okay.
There is another that I venerate. You will pull out a curious-looking little charm. And curiously enough, it is a black diamond with an alchemist symbol in the middle of it. Kind of a pointed star with the various sigils going in between.
Is this your actual deity?
The one I have chosen to venerate and worship. One who pays heed to my skillful arts, my crafts and deeds. All I have to do is continue to plant other seeds.
But aren't they lucky to have you?
Indeed, because I always have an effect.
Haha.
But don't think of the absurdity to it. It's just more fun to witness it. But of course, I have tinctures to make. Business to sell. Don't let yourself become an empty shell. If you need me, you know where to find me.
Apparently everywhere, even the forests are not safe.
Simply think of me. I'm willing to sell. Long as you're not an empty shell. With that, he will very daintily turn around, heelful, and gone in a soft wisp of smoke.
I think his deity is a chaotic one.
I mean, what if he's his own god? You missed Phobos dancing around and joking about us becoming empty shells.
Oh, good. Little fucking Rumpelstiltskin. Gonna tell us what we're gonna become. Gives us potions that'll probably make it happen, though.
Yeah, Phobos appeared and was like, I've been collecting Xymon roots that only appear when this happens.
Dude, gross.
Yeah.
Josh, is the 8-pointer star Mistral?
Curious.
If it is, I feel like Elaine would know that.
Curiously enough, it is a symbol of Mistra, but perverted.
Okay.
Oh.
The symbol within inside seems to signify something else that came from Mistra. Go ahead and roll me a history.
Not a religion.
History
he's doing
or
that.
religion, both.
Hey, Josh,
Yes.
what's it take to summon the Xymon weapon?
With that, it takes one hit die to manifest your will, and the shard in the wood will form into your hand and allow it to break away and carry it with you. If someone were to
Awesome.
try and strike you with it, it will immediately dissolve.
Oh, cool.
That's a cool party trick.
Also, main action or bonus action?
No action.
That's pretty cool.
Lovely.
And Elaine,
Where is it?
with the natural 20, I'll give you a little extra. You know that this is definitely the symbol of Mistra, but especially with the black diamond and the strange alchemical runes within inside, this might be a lesser cult, but also pertinent to the spell plague. Phobos might worship something that was born from the chaos of when the spell plague had happened.
Okay.
As to what that is, it eludes you for the time. This is not something you have very commonly seen, though you do remember seeing it in passing. And it slowly ticks over in your mind as things that you glazed over between various gods and such, especially in worship and in veneration. I realized the one that had not played too much pertinence and had seemed to have very little written on it, other than the fact that they have been problematic in the past. It has only one name and one word that follows into your mind from it. Absurd.
Wait a second. Let me scroll way back to all the shit the Jade Warrior told us. Or I can use control F. Absurdness?
Mm-hmm. One and the same.
The Jade Warrior told us about this, man.
Phobos worships him.
Jade Warrior also said he was pretty chill. From what I've written here.
Mm-hmm. Said you do know that he caused possible chaos. Didn't seem like heinous chaos, kind of like playful disturbances.
One of those chaotic goods.
And especially for the demonstration of Phobos' tinctures. Curiously good. Because if he is an alchemist and he does worship absurdness, and this is a demonstration of one of his, well, followers, even though his tinctures do have an effect in a curious fashion, they are cheap, cost-effective healing potions, especially for those who can't always afford it.
I mean, yeah, Phobos may seem pretty sus, but he's actually quite reliable.
There's also the other curiosity of that, as much as the insanities that have been invoked upon the world, his odd tinctures, even though they seem bad in relation, are curatives towards it.
He do be the only cure for madness.
We should get inside before any creatures show up.
Yeah, like I said, time for one more round to go fish.
One more 8-hour round.
Well, the moon's apparently fading. Could be gone in, 30 minutes from
Or we could play a quick game of Dota.
I don't know what that is, and it makes me angry for some reason.
Me too.
So, suddenly you see a fucking green-skulled sorcerer wielding a big-ass fucking wand start running up on your ass. Slaps down a totem and summons a skeleton. I dare you to cast magic, motherfucker! Try it! What now? You were able to finally retreat from the woods. Curiously enough, there is nothing pursuing you. Hilariously enough, though, as much as all of you are safe, Leoris. You see the shadows creeping. See them occasionally morphing between wolf, guard drake, to a dragon, to occasionally a giant clinging through the trees, almost as they are watching and whispering towards you. Simon is angry with you.
Go on.
With that, you break the trees, see the shadows that creep between the forest, watching you as you make your way to the safety of Lucius's mansion. And you're able to sit down and play cards. As you see, Lucius looks to all of you curious as to what happened. Shintri is curiously acutely somewhat smelling the air, almost as like a heavy scent lingers upon over the party. What is that? That smell?
Well, we did meet with a god like 10 minutes ago, so it's probably that. I don't really smell anything though.
It smells like gnarled roots in the swamp. And Harbinger rocks up. I really am Harbinger. Behold! And bursts into fucking tree form.
Becomes tree beard.
Just turns full whopping willow on fucking Mentor. Bitch, what? What, motherfucker?
Put you in the fucking ground!
Being underground with tree roots, of course you're going to know what that smell is. But able to take time, Lucius does seem to have a curious air about himself as he looks to the rest of you and is very clearly observing you with detect magic.
I can feel him. He's undressing me with those eyes.
He's looking underneath your plating at your metal framework.
My metal framework.
Come on, my circuit board.
No, stop looking at my metal, and my flesh, and my wood.
Are you staring at my motherboard, you pervert?
Curry spoons you carry with you. Oh, take caution. The divine are always playing a dangerous game. Already have enough vying for your attention, as from what I've seen already. With that, you can tell there's a minute recognition of that. Doesn't really seem to question it. But definitely a soft tip of the head. You can tell he's acknowledged it.
From the looks of it, the eclipse is slowly ending.
then this is
Should
beneficial.
continue soon.
I will make sure that I have extra preparations ready.
Yeah. We might be able to mend the wagon back together if me and you do it. In, less than a day.
A good portion of time, but something that is still definitely applicable to our magics. I will be sure to make a watch and check every hour to see the progress of the day. So, after having a bit of time to sit down, collect yourselves, you do see that Shintri and company is a little concerned but glad that everything is alright and the day is starting to clear. The purple moon is fading from the sky at the time. We'll apply Nistri's willing or wants later if he's wanting to take up any boons later. But that, about 5 hours later, Simon proceeds. The sun finally returns back. You can just hear everything come back to a more vibrant life once again. At this point, you do see Jules Lucius will come over. Over to you, Alex. I think we should get a head start on repairing the cart.
Well, yeah, let's get started. Never tried to make anything whole this big before. It's gonna take forever.
I'm sure we'll find a majority of the pieces. What cannot be fully repaired? I can offer lingots and a few others to reinforce it.
Yeah, I suppose we'll have to do that.
So, as you go looking around for the entirety of the pieces that are there or not there, go ahead and just roll me a survival just to see how fast this goes along between having to collect up some of the scattered remains that aren't extremely obvious.
Oh, that's a good joke.
You want help?
Yeah, probably. That's
okay, survival.
I mean, I can cast Fabricate like 2 more times today, so I can just make wagon parts, although they'll be made really soon because I'm not a wagon maker.
So, Harbinger's just fully in tune with these new gifts upon him. Even though it's still painful for his body with these new gifts and constantly regenerating. Makes it more tolerable and easily able to go around and observe his environment in a better light and just very swiftly start collecting up the pieces. You can smell the wood. You know where the wood is. You have wood sense now. All trees within 300 feet.
Smell the boys.
All trees and wood within 300 feet of you can sense. You can sense all the wood inside of Cromstein.
I have tree sight.
No, my wood.
Yo, bro, you got wood?
I do.
Give it away. No.
I had to make the joke that way first, otherwise it wouldn't make very much sense.
After a few hours, and with the day definitely getting later at this point, though thankfully you're still at least able to start making way on the road. You do see the remains of what had happened across various areas. The extreme rarity of this, you could see, had seemingly washed over a large portion of the landscape. Broken trees, uprooted dirt, tunnels, and other things that have given the landscape a new face for the time. Though not immensely different enough to be notable. As you are making your route, you do take note that you see a singular dead horse on the side of the road. Looks fairly familiar to the paladins, though thankfully only one. Regret.
Around the horse, are there like dead giants or anything?
Around the horse itself, as you get closer and you look at it, especially for the decorations of the horse itself, familiarity to it, but when you get closer and examine it, Elaine, you recognize that it might have been one of the horses that the paladins were riding, but that wouldn't make sense because this looks more like a draft horse. Like peasant.
Yeah, the paladin horses were all summoned.
Exactly.
What else was here?
A peasant's horse.
Oh no, a peasant!
Someone else was
Oh.
here.
Well, there's horse corpse, but where is the owner?
Long gone.
Do you think they escaped? Are there any tracks?
Go ahead and roll me a good old survival.
Someone
Please.
help with that.
I'm saying it out loud so someone else can do it.
Nistri.
Please.
Are there other horse prints here that a paladin ghost horse would leave?
100%. That much is obvious.
Hiya.
Okay, so shit went down.
Done.
And I'll roll in these streets because why the fuck not? There. Don't worry. Mentor's puppeting you straight now.
Good on you, Mentor.
Among Us. We finally got rid of Dexter's strings, and now they're just on Knee Street.
Yeah, that was the plan all along.
He was possessed all along. No one ever knew he cast Dominate motherfucker on it.
Dominate motherfucker.
Yeah, works on it. Works on
Specific
everything.
spell.
anything you could consider a motherfucker to work on. Much more effective than
It only works on MILF hunters.
100%.
I'm screwed.
But, especially with the 25 survival, Nishi's kind of looking around trying to help and locate other various areas. He does take note that it seems to lead off into the woods and that there definitely was a very immense clash here and that they were immensely slowed down. It looks like they were trying to follow something else. And Harbinger, as you're looking around, you do take note that the horses' reins look like they were very swiftly cut originally from where they were tied up or posted up originally. And it looks like the horse itself almost kind of got sidelined at one point by maybe a giant. It looks like one of the thin giants had maybe originally launched at this thing and grasped it and tried to make it a snack before quickly giving chase. And then the paladins seem to have arrived after the fact. You follow a little bit further, and there is definitely humanoid tracks, but they are moving blazing fast, especially for the stretch and stride between the two. You would assume the person is probably heading over 150 feet a turn or more.
Bruh.
What the heck?
But of course, that's on foot. So, depending on how long they were doing that, you're not sure how long they lasted versus a horse.
Relay this information.
Other than that, it doesn't seem like much else has really disturbed the area other than what had already happened.
Well, if they were going that fast, they are probably not anywhere close.
Got to go fast.
Let's they got caught.
Are these tracks heading in the direction that we want to go?
It seems like the paladins were trying to follow it. As far, like, how far are you gonna trek these out from the scene?
Have we got anything better to do?
Yes,
That's at least
currently
the same
going
general
somewhere.
direction. Where are we going?
Stratham!
Yeah, we're going to Stratham. Because I'm pretty sure we're doing this.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I believe
Also-
you mean
Yeah, no, sorry.
this. Yeah. Or even this.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that looks
The,
good.
the one on top of the pillar was bad.
I mean, it's called the pit. That's clearly going to be worse.
No, we were told that the pit was the good one, and the on top of the pillar was the bad one.
But what if it's just from like a certain point of view?
The pit is closer to hell, while the pillar is closer to heaven. Clearly.
The Jade
better
Warrior
than the
literally told us this.
No, he's bullshit.
Okay.
It's bullshit.
Sure.
That's bullshit. Well, I
He's
mean, we
not
should probably,
fit though.
Anyway, this paladin is probably chasing Cal, so let's ignore that.
we should
Just-
probably drop
just
off the
Stratham.
ground before we go to the pit. Just gonna say, like,
It's on the way.
yeah, let's just bring the non-combatants to the dangerous god vault.
It's like
Yeah,
they've
been there before.
it's up. We
They've
go
gone to just as many
150
dangerous
miles,
god vaults as us.
or we go 155 miles. It's literally on the way.
We go then.
To Stratton.
Yep.
Alright. Swiftly travelling on, you make your way towards Stratum. Thankfully, the peacefulness over the next few days seemed to be imparted over the land, even though the intense chaos had washed over everything like a horrible torrential nightmare. You see there is the moon of Hothalara, peacefully washing over the land with its teal light. Almost as if trying to heal that has already done. You do take note that as you spend some of the nights on the road, watching these few nights where Hothalara is out, you see the radiance of Yumiya joining in company. And many of the trees and plants and other pieces that were disturbed, broken, or dying mended over. The moon itself healing the land. You see that Sentry and the others are awestruck by this sight, admiring the stars and the moons themselves, even though there was the terrifying chaos and so. But being able to see the soft silhouettes of the stars just trapped up above, even though in darkness these beautiful luminous orbs that just dance across the sky. Lucius spends a few extra bits in time of night tending to various research, checking out various flora, fauna, even some of the dirt and rocks around the area, comparing them to other notes that he clearly has. And even though he seems to be first and foremost a wizard of high caliber, seems to be rescinded when the matters of research are brought to his attention, and archives everything, following true to that of his original nature when he was first intended and made. Almost feels strange to see someone who is so filled with bloodlust only a few nights ago very peacefully just collecting samples and studying his environment, just happily jotting them down. Occasionally he'll come over to Elios and ask you to sketch out a leaf in detail, especially with the full veins and root systems of it from what he's studied. Seems to insist on continue to collect and illustrate knowledge to the best of his degree.
Seems easy enough.
Are you okay?
Hmm?
You made a weird noise.
I was trying to mute before I hiccuped. My apologies.
Does Nishu die from insomnia in the days of Charlotte?
Nishri doesn't seem to have it anymore.
Yeah, he got cured after resisting so many times.
Supposedly.
Supposedly.
There was a night that he wasn't with you.
Unimportant.
Nights where you can't observe what happens are not important to the development of characters.
Did he go do drugs in the woods while I was buying dinner?
Yes.
He went out and smoked a pipe with Radagast. Now he's fine.
Gotta hit that pipe, man. That peace pipe. Curiously enough, as you're getting closer to Stratham, overlooking the landscape, you see a griffin flying overhead.
Oh shit, hide the horses.
It's just one griffin. We can take it.
They can smell horses from 2 miles.
Then we've already failed.
Yeah.
I think it's a bit late for hiding.
Hide them horses, bro.
Put a fake decoy
Just
griffin
watch the
cover.
griffin and keep going. We're fine.
Alright.
Is there somebody on the griffin?
A Durask.
Another god. Ah! The Griffin God! Gryffindor! Casts Fireball. Oh my god, it's Dumbledore!
The ultimate spell of Hogwarts, the Gryffindor.
A door made out of griffin.
I mean, let's face it, he definitely cast Fireball on his way out with that fucking phoenix. It's just because he's an evocation wizard, so he didn't hit anyone, he just did it for style points. Also matching up with the contingency of Thunderstep with his bird the moment he grabs its feet. Fucking amazing. Guy thought of everything. Alright. Wink.
Oh, we're back. Are we back in the cursed town, or are we being ambushed? Let's find out which.
Thankfully, there is no ambush. There is no murder. But there is Griffin, and it's getting closer.
Just tell it to fuck off. Who speaks Griffin?
I can make it go away.
Make it so.
No.
Whips out Echo, takes direct control, flies up and punches it.
Yeah, you can, in fact, Superman towards somebody.
The Echo cares not for gravity.
What a silly mechanic.
Alright, so you're flying up to punch a Griffin?
Yeah, baby!
You can do it.
Alright, so let's go into a little bit of initiative here. I'll do it between Harbinger and the Griffin first.
Probably win. Oh, yeah.
run-of-the-mill griffin coming looking for a horse suddenly gets belted by the fucking ghost of yesterday's past. What a fuck. Oh my fucking god. Alright, yeah. So, just in the opening, as it is very obvious seeing a big fucking soul flying up from the ground towards it.
Let's see.
It's gotta try and lash out at your echo first.
Let me try to figure out how much AC the Echo has now.
Is it not just the same as yours?
No.
Oh.
I think it has 18.
Well, the first one will hit with a 22 for
Oh,
10. So you go up to try and punch it,
Uh,
but in response it goes to dive bomb your echo and just it slices through it. Looking a little more perturbed. Now coming down towards the cart.
doing it.
Doing it in.
Yeah. Go ahead and roll your attacks on it, because it's even with a dash, it's gonna have to do another round of dashing to get to the horses.
Well, fuck it, I'm just gonna shoot it with my gun.
wait.
Oh wait, it's not a gun. It's a rocket launcher.
Oh my god.
Bang.
Jesus Christ.
Do I even need to do anything after that?
I mean, it might succeed.
Yeah, that's true.
Launching
Yes,
predator
something.
missile.
I'll do this to it.
My fucking god! It's-
Don't hit, but it already got its warning shot. The warning shot was the echo. Now it gets the shot.
Yeah. Now it gets the forced zombification beam.
So,
Oh, is that what that does?
Yes.
yeah, so it gets fucking absolutely roasted by a green fireball. And then, literally, at that point, it turns it into a zombie, you say, Relax.
I'm gonna need to go read the description. It's been a while since I read it. Unless save throw takes on a failed save, a target held by this damage rises up as a zombie at the start of your next turn.
Gee, what? That's cursed.
Let's see. This is the
Is
question.
it a friendly zombie or just a zombie?
Under my control.
Okay.
Now have a griffin zombie.
I don't even know if that's how that works.
Doesn't have to be a humanoid?
So, at first you see the griffin fall as just flowing negative energy floods out of its body. A very obvious thoof as it hits the dirt. You look at it as you keep on the road for a couple seconds. And then it gets back up.
Alright, Lex, you see Chrome Steel aim at it again with another wand.
I'm not gonna stop you.
Okay, shoot it.
Sorry, yellow. Gotta put you down.
Oh yeah, no. It definitely died the first time, but now it's back as a zombie. So,
Tell me it'll turn into a zombie, so 19 force damage.
alrighty. Let's see. Yeah, we're going even just half of that. A 19. Still up from that looks over in all of your directions. Starts.
Why won't it die?
Crom steel. But I did
What?
to it, raised it as a zombie.
You what?
Oh, well, you see, I tried to flood it with negative energy. Usually it doesn't kill everything I do it to.
What?
I do not understand the balance of energy.
I don't understand why you've turned this griffin into a zombie.
It was the best long-range thing I had prepared.
Okay.
You see, I destroyed it to get its XP, and then I revived it so we'll get more XP.
Well, that works.
Yeah, it's a griffin and then a zombie. It's
Yeah.
two different creatures, two different XP.
Exactly.
I don't think it counts, though, because it's friendly to me. It won't do anything.
Why is the griffin casting lightning?
Shintri stands up and quickly casts out a lightning bolt as it's getting closer now.
No, that wasn't. It was mental. Mental did.
Yes, Mentor stood up as Shintri.
Fuck. Hey, Shintri, you wanna have a chat?
Dominate, monster!
No!
Alright. With that... Yeah, it's still not... The zombie griffin fries and you hear it... And then part of the wing burns up and falls over. It catches on fire. Eyes burst out of its fucking face. You killed a griffin, guys. Good job.
Well, that's horrible.
That was a lot more complicated than it, had to be. Could just let me finish my sentence, but alright.
Alright, then next time this happens, we'll let you go.
I apologize. Was it not undead?
Yeah, but it was friendly. I made it. I was just gonna tell
Kinda
it
feels
to
like
destroy
heresy to
itself.
me.
I think you did a good job, Shintri.
Thank you. And I suppose the next one I won't do anything?
Not gonna be a next time.
Next time.
It's that point where you're like, I wonder if she's mad just because it would have been cool to have a zombie griffin.
Totally would've.
Relax.
That was literally a free tamed flying mount that just flew directly to us.
Alright. So, with that, you're able to finally reach Stratham with no more libations. Holy shit, dude. Somebody's just gonna be walking and come across the fucking dead, undead griffin, re-dead again.
Yeah.
As we're finally back at Stratham, you can see the paladins are here. Though they look absolutely exhausted. Even though there has been a few days in between, you can tell that a good portion of Stratham has been rebuilt. A large section seems to have various giant bones. You can see that the temple itself looks like has not only that originally been collapsed, but also heaved out in a massive hole. And everything that was inside that hole is gone. Aside from that, you do see all over the town decorating it is various chitin and insectoid parts.
Decorated in a celebration way, or their corpses are everywhere?
Their corpses are everywhere. Like, all the bugs suddenly got bigger and attacked the town from underground.
Wow, that thing we did nothing about.
How do you so?
Though thankfully the paladins were here. Even though there's obviously still some casualties. Obviously, a lot of the issues and other casualties that could have happened were abstained. With that, they do wave to you. A few others seem relieved to see that others have survived the very rare but also taxing night of multiple Zymon. Do you see at this point, as it did take a few days to finally reach Stratham, a few flyers are around town. Wanted posters. They look very familiar.
Oh boy, who?
Is it
Oh,
Cal?
how could this be?
It's been a few days. It does look like they have all been hand done. They're wanted posters for around town.
Being in a hurry doesn't mean you can't hold paper as you hurry.
At the same time, Stratham does have quite a good amount of resources coming in and out. And especially for the fact that Binder was able to get pieces of canvas and other things to paint with. But hilariously enough, it's a wanted poster of Cal.
Oh my god.
He has a 40,000 gold price on his head for killing...
Right, let's get him, boys.
Let's get him!
for killing
Damn.
a bounty hunter lord that had not been fully discharged from the guild yet.
Elaine absolutely did not pay him that much, so if we get him, that's a profit.
Yeah, we'll put him in, and then we'll break him out after we get our money.
What? Why would we break him out?
They
we
do
can
it
have
again.
him Get into the money loot.
What?
I'm sure after the fourth time of us bringing him in, suspicious. How come we always managed to catch him?
We know
Why
how
don't we just use the bounty to pay for his bail?
Yeah, his bail's only like 10k. Infinite money glitch.
But yes, you do see his face plastered at the essential locations within Stratham.
I am not surprised. Anyway, I lead Lucius over to the rubble that was the soul-crushed keep.
You do see a bit of a gathering crowd, a little bit curious at the demonstration of more Warforged, curiously enough.
Hello, citizens. Where on you, overlords? No.
as you admire over the rubble, the pit where the temple was, and now the spreading pieces of it are everywhere, Lucius kind of takes all this in and starts to assess the dimensions of the space.
Yes. I think I'll be able to work with something here. I'm glad I made sure to keep this preparation at the ready.
You have something prepared?
I always have something prepared, my good man.
I am eager to see it.
The horrible realization on Cal. So Lucius goes around, marking out the territories as best as he can. Seems to mark out purposely as he kind of shifts the ground a little bit. 120 feet each side. Carefully structuring it. You can see he lays out what seems to be a more fortified floor plan, keep, and other ramparts and designs.
What do you mean he's just like spawning these things in? Are you drawing on the ground?
As he going like mold earth. Just
okay.
drawing it out first as he marks out the space to make sure it doesn't interfere with other structures around the area.
Very methodical. Excellent.
It's at this point that once he finishes out his main floor plans, divvying them up, giving a little more structure and reasoning to it, he'll look to you and the rest.
Do you think they would take issue if I were to cast something here? Obviously, if this is the previous location, don't want ill intent to be on their mind.
I think they will quickly discover we have no ill intent. You should be fine.
Then we proceed.
With that, he will turn around. As he starts maintaining his focus for 1 minute, you can see the heavy incantations as he pulls out a beautiful looking gemstone. As he sits there and focuses, chanting for a moment. You see the diamond lift up from his palm, start turning to dust and sprinkling out towards the designs and laid out floor plan that he has made preemptively. And then you start to see bricks rise up, the dirt push away, turrets start to rise up, the middle keep forms, the ramparts come to life. The full gate is at the ready, as well as the full fortifications, fully supplied, as you can tell, and the rest within laid bare before you, fully decorated and ready, as he casts Mighty Fortress and makes an instantaneous castle and keep. And on front, emblazoned beautifully in crescent and crenellations, the symbol of the Iron Father.
It's beautiful.
just rises up out of the stone perfectly.
So obscene.
First the moon, now this.
They're back!
Why can't I have a level?
Yes, Crumbs. We want armed rebellion of the populace.
So, for those curious with Mighty Fortress,
Jesus.
oh yeah,
Oh, Jesus, motherfucker.
It's too much.
This description is 1.5 pages of text bubbles.
good old Mighty fucking Fortress, bro.
The walls only have 30 hit points, not very lonely.
It's getting through their fucking hardness first.
Immune to poison.
I always do love that. Immune to poison and psychic. It's always like the footnote requirement.
Yeah, man.
30 hit points per inch of thickness.
I've been going to this castle every day for the past week, feeding it poison, and it's just not dying.
Just vicious mockery on the walls day and night, but they stand resilient.
You make those walls 1 foot thick. They've got like 360 hit points.
Mm-hmm.
God damn.
Is built to last. And also, especially for the fact of enough sufficient food for a banquet up to 100 people each day, furnishings and other.
Fucked.
He
You're gonna
casts the
feed the
spell.
whole village every day
Why would he though? That's not his
to
job.
gain their trust.
You know what? That's a good point.
That's 100% what he's actually planning to do.
Nice.
And also, all the staff when inside, 100 invisible servants function as unseen servants. So it's fully self-caretaking.
Yeah. Oh, and you can make the castle permanent in a year, just like the magic circle.
Yep.
Cool.
With that, you do see quite a few people awestruck by the demonstration. A few that are worried, others that are coming to check out this location, curiously enough. You also see a familiar face, not far, quickly approaching, same glorious dragon cane and his vibrant, pure purple clothes and his nice hat to match. Ghost.
Ghost is alright. Greetings.
I can definitely say it's really nice to see that all of you are back.
We are back and in greater number, and we are here to stay.
It is a curious thing to say that, I have something from your friend. They wanted me to make sure it got to you.
A friend.
Yes. He said it had to go to a fiery-haired woman.
Oh, really? How is it that you came into possession of this?
It was left behind, and I debated on whether or not to sell it, and I personally, after seeing the paladins so diligently, looking back and forth, making sure they're not there, helped defend the town, that are best not in my hands anymore.
With that, he's going to.
Or she'll be happy to receive it.
With that, he'll approach you, Helene.
Yes, ma'am. I do have something from you, someone pertinent to previous endeavors.
Quickly.
I'm gonna roll like an int check to see if I'm smart enough to know what this is.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and roll me just a flat hit.
Okay.
You're very sure what this is. If it's...
I open my bag and just say put it in here. Don't unwrap it.
Is it not the carpet?
Duly noted.
Wait, what are the dimensions of this package?
So you see Ghost takes out a rolled up piece of cloth
Oh no.
and
fuck?
quickly dumps it
That's-
into Elaine's bag.
That's not a carpet. Wait,
Is it a hammer? Is it hammer-like dimensions?
fuck is that? What's in your mouth?
It's not really to mention.
Spit it out.
It is distantable to the size of your forearm, a little bit longer, like fingertip to elbow.
Is it the fucking dagger?
That's the tale. Elaine?
We should talk about this later, and I'll gesture towards the paladins.
Would you like to show us our new carpet in private?
Yes!
Okay,
Should we have a tour of this new castle?
very well.
You see that Junius Lucius is already proceeding inward towards an inner sanctum that he purposely laid out with the floor plan, and getting Otwin and Bailey ready and set as he starts making the teleportation circle. As you look around in this grand hall in the front, there's an immaculate amount of space in this place. You could easily fit a full army here if you had to.
I'll be sure to copy over the teleportation circle for you. Make sure to come back as much as I can. Get a few others to teleport here as well, over to Spernalis for those willing. Upman and Bailey will be the main curators of this fortress, maintaining the circle. Though I will have to come back to continue to maintain the fortress's magic.
Thank you, Junius, for all your hard work.
I thank you for helping free the others as best as you can. This place is a madhouse, though I do find it fascinating to add more to my research and archives. Hopefully when things are at a more peaceful stage, I'll be able to finish my documentation. Mostly starting with flora, fauna, and an extra bestiary.
I think that would be very helpful for the foreseeable future.
Yes. I'll have to be sure to leave the cartography towards Raxiel and his sister at the current circumstance. As for the other pertinence to it, obviously, intending to make this the main fallback fortification for the rest of you, I'll see if I can't gather some excessive allies in force.
Yes, as I send our Warforged brothers to this location, I'm sure the Soul Crushed will very quickly learn of it as well, and may choose action.
I'll also be sure to sanctify the walls to make sure that there is no manipulation of this bloodbane again, like when Xylon arrived. There will not be a second humiliation.
I suggest you bring some clerics of the Iron Father here. Start some real religion.
I'm sure there will be a few that will be more than happy to offer their scripture, coming as soon as we make sure that things will be safe here.
With that, you see Lucius starts making his procession through the new fortress of the Iron Father on the Stradalis continent near Stratham. And will proceed to cast various sanctifying wards to try and prevent any improper influences from reaching inside the fortress.
Now, will Elaine be allowed to learn this magic circle so we can come here?
Yes. That's the main intention of this. That's why he's going to make a full copy of the runic teleportation circle here for you to be able to fall back in an emergency.
Right. Okay, I think we stay the night, and then we set on towards the pit.
The pit. The pit. The pit.
While we're in the castle,
Yes, what you got there, buddy?
anyone that wants to see,
Yes.
Yes.
well, no, let's go to like a private room,
Plenty of
and I will
those.
pull out my bag, pull out the
Put us
cloth.
in a bubble if you like.
I'm sure it's fine, as long as there's no one within earshot. Alright, you guys aren't gonna sell me out, are you?
I did not sell out Cal.
Why would we do that?
I quickly unwrap the cloth, and a hellfire dagger falls out.
Right,
A knife?
I see.
Why would I sell you out for this? I went with you when you bought this.
Well, I told you that I was going to use it only for destroying the Soul Forged, and that was technically true at the time. But once I learned about everything that Prexon did, I let my emotions get the better of me, and I asked your friend Kaladar to carry out a request for me. Seemed he was much less capable than he had assumed.
So it was you then.
I honestly didn't think that I would stoop so low as to use this on Braxton, but after learning everything he'd done, he had to suffer.
This knife.
It basically severs one's soul from their body and sends them to the nine hells. Guaranteed.
That explains why they couldn't bring him back.
It is unequivocally probably one of the worst punishments you can inflict on a mortal.
Flamesword just stares at the ground and starts wrapping it back up.
I wish you hadn't done that.
I just
But
leave.
all I will do is ask that you don't do it again.
Did Lyris is left?
I'm just leaving.
I'm gonna watch which direction she goes.
Oh.
Deep are we in the castle?
Considering you went to find a private room, probably the second floor, where it's more defensible and kind of semi-blocked by the walls. So center.
If she heads towards the staircase, I'm gonna like look out a window or something.
Alright.
Okay, I get lost.
I follow Leoris to make sure she's okay.
Alright. Imagine up to you whether or not you're trying to just stay away from the party, Leoris, or allowing the Chrome still follow.
Yeah, I'm
No
like trailing
problem
behind.
with Crumb following.
Trailing behind you and saying, "Do you want to talk? You okay?"
Just... No. No, I'm not. She did was horrible.
Yes, it was, and I hate her for it.
What Cal did. I mean,
You thought highly of him.
he was my friend.
I'm sorry this is hard on you.
What do you think I should do, Crumb?
What would your god do? I think it is good to follow your deity for guidance. Would Illustrae absolve them of their sins?
That is questionable.
you think they are deserving of punishment?
Obviously, but the willingness to try to redeem themselves should be taken into mind. But to do something like that can't just go unanswered.
I think I agree with you. Perhaps we can ask Elaine to be less hot-headed.
That's meant to be some kind of joke.
A little bit, yes. We can ask her to promise to be better. And then go from there. And Cal as well, I suppose, if we ever see him again.
Right.
I just... a lot to deal with, Carl.
I know how you feel. I have a lot on my plate as well.
I mean, they would do something like that behind our back. Willingness to redeem oneself does not absorb some of their crimes.
It is a burden that Elaine will carry forever. Unfortunately, it seems we are on a grand quest, and we do not have prime selection of our party members. I think it is important that we try to resolve our problems and stick together.
I'll give it some further thought. I don't think I can be around her at the moment.
Would you rather be alone with your thoughts?
Never. I've spent more than enough time alone with my thoughts already.
Well then, I shall accompany you to wherever you may be going.
Find myself a separate, quiet corner of the castle and send a message to Base.
Alright.
Say, hey Base, it's Leotis. A friend of mine has committed quite a heinous crime. She owned up to it herself, but I don't know what to do.
I would ask what this crime be, but it seems that whoever it was enough to disturb you. There are those who can be forgiven, but would be at the discretion and mercy. Best left at the gods. Some may regret those actions, and if they have come clean, then obviously they mean to atone for the matter. There may be salvation for them still. Do keep yourself protected, though.
Would reference say had someone killed with the hell knife, so they couldn't be resurrected. The victim was a criminal, but behind bars.
I see. It is a difficult task. Atonement for such a thing of cursing and damning one's soul. This person would have to truly be desperate, or extraordinarily cruel and manipulative if they were trying to dissuade from the moment. I would seek caution around them if this is their answer to someone who is already in prison. Divine justice might be finding them soon.
Meanwhile, I prayed to the Iron Father with pretty much the exact same question.
Oh god.
Advice on, you know, how I should judge a person that did that. Jinx?
So, how would Ironstride respond to that, Jester?
That is a very good point.
Well, I mean, Ironstride was true neutral. If you had reasonable cause for this because of his atrocities, which, as we all know, he was a really, really, really bad guy. Einstein probably wouldn't have that much of a problem with it. It's just, you know, punishment had already been dealt, though you took it into your own hands. It's understandable, though you should have allowed due process first. You're not punished for what you did, but, you know, there were other things that were already in place.
And exactly that in turn. Sometimes evil must be slain before it can be allowed to grow and nurture again.
It's ominous. Thanks.
Yeah, what does Bloodbane say? Because
No.
he cuts it off. Anyway.
No!
Sadly not today, because there's wards now. Shit!
Already block.
No phone taps.
Still undecided, so divine power restore my sending slots. Why? I still had one left. And I'm going to ask the same question of Reckoner.
Reckoner who has seen me flatten people for less.
Alright. Reckoner's response.
Due to the situation and the limited knowledge I have, though understanding the cruelties that he had invoked upon the people, I feel true justice has been met this day, though I think the only injustice that has truly been given is the lack of knowledge of who he has been working with and where to find them. After that, then I would have invoked the same justice upon him.
Well, your boss is really mean.
I would say strict.
What's the difference?
The intent. Anyway, what did she say?
She said she would have done the same thing. After getting more information.
Justice and practical. I see.
So already in prison, justice had been met.
I thought about it some more, and do you think the suffering that he endured in his final moments is justice enough for the suffering of all of the infused?
Don't know exactly what his fate would have been like.
Sure, it was horrible. Much worse than anything he ever did to any of the infused, but he did it up to a lot of them. Wondering if jail was enough. And perhaps damnation was what made it equal.
I don't think anything could be equal to the fate he has been given.
No, justice is rarely as black and white as that. I think as far as hell death goes, there were very few people that could have deserved it more.
Does not mean we should not have given him a chance. He had already ensured he could not harm people further.
Yes, I still agree with that. It was not the correct thing to do. Such is the way of vigilantes.
As all these conversations are happening all around, you start to hear quite a bit of noise building up front of the castle.
God damn it. Does it sound like angry people with pitchforks upset about the Warforged?
Yes.
God damn fucking it.
I'll go kill him.
No!
Stop him!
You wanna...
Stop him!
If you'll excuse me, Leoris, I have some religion to preach. And I will go out front.
Pull out my notebook and just start making my sketches for the day.
Alright. Going out front, you very easily take notice of the very quickly growing crowd in front of the Stratham outpost. Many of the people, which they look like they have armed themselves with various tools, weapons, swords, maces, and other from the combat from the previous night. You
Oh boy.
even see quite a few of the paladins have taken suit, as well as you see Jace looks fairly surprised to see you step out.
Sorry.
As
Jace?
the
Jace was one of the militia here. One of the like 2 actual guards that worked here.
Right. Oh, one of the ones we took into the Gore dungeon.
yeah,
Yep.
Right.
sees you step out. He's like, "Are you? What? We thought that."
Hello, everyone. I apologize for the lack of introductions. I will unclip my weapons and shield and drop them to the floor and go out, hands raised, to the crowd.
See Judas Lucius is standing not far behind in the courtyard.
I am out there too.
What the fuck's going on with this shit? We already had one of these already in the exact same fucking spot.
Yes, perhaps a poor choice on my part. But nevertheless, we are not the same. What you dealt with before, with a soul crushed. An evil cult of Warforged. We are different. We are the Iron Champions. We strive for different goals, and we are your allies.
What the hell you intended doing here? The last group of yous ended up fucking making a whole fucking pit of sacrifice and shit. The last fucking bit of rubble that was here last time, just a bunch of crazed giant fucking insects came out the other time.
Yes, there'll be no more of that. Great apologies. Steel is very angry in herself. God fucking damn it, should have killed this bullet. Why the fuck did we not kill the bugs anyway?
They're not that strong.
Yes, we were!
Really?
It was like one scary bug, and the rest were just bugs.
Okay, villagers don't.
Swarms do.
Yeah?
Half
We
day.
delegated the task to someone else.
Yeah, and they, lost a
You
bunch
know,
of
we
people.
closed them in, they should have suffocated. You know?
Yeah. They definitely can't burrow.
No, we can leave them in this cave next to the town. In fact, within the town, and they won't just burrow up, as bugs tend to do.
Pretty sure that didn't happen until the moon.
It's true.
Yes, I mean, it fucking happened.
Bigger.
You know,
I wondered, is she like just like the moon god, just decide like, okay, I want you to be fucked over by bugs. Yeah, you're sleeping on a battlefield now. Fight. She's like pointing at us.
You could definitely roll me an insight on that if you like.
I feel she would just pull things from the area.
I mean, yeah, but does she just go like, I hate you in particular. I hate you this much.
Having a bird in the middle of the ocean?
Mm-hmm. The lightning bird, no less.
Well, they're not like Phoenix. It might have actually been something that could have been out there.
You feel like anything that would draw the most suffering, especially for Stratham, that seemed to be on brand with the insects and the fact that they're rising up from the old ruins and that they were there, still consuming the dead villagers. The battlefields outside of Zonwell, old remnants of the war, and long ago lost, desiccated bodies of the giants that had riddled the lands out there. The arc-like phoenix, storms and banes of the sailors, things that strike lightning down upon a ship and destroy it, usually setting fire or even obliterating masts if it were to arc down and just scorch through. Definitely seems to entail that Simon seems to pick and choose on the points, not only of the fact that in enhancing what is in the area, but also choosing the ones that caused the most suffering.
Oh, so just like she just looks at her pain meter and just goes like,
so we can be sure that many of the villagers suffered greatly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's reassuring.
You do remember that the insects that were left behind here were blinding moths, others with arc lightning powders, and then also the other ants that were here breeding in swathed and droning swarms were acidic ants.
And death by acid and ant bites.
And blind at the same time.
Yeah. Chroma Steel explains to the villagers that the Iron Champions are here to take in Warforged refugees who are trying to not be enslaved, and to fight against the Soul Crushed, who are evil and ultimately want to kill non-Warforged. But the Iron Champions want to save everyone, as they are equals. And I end it with, if you have any questions, I will answer them.
That's the same thing the last guy was selling. Thoughtless. People started going fucking missing after that shit. I'll be keeping an eye on you. Started the same last time. Saying you're helping people
Yes.
out.
Look, we're literally doing the same thing, but this time actually doing it, and not harvesting people.
We persuasion at disadvantage, Chroma Steel.
This time with doors.
Use an inspiration.
Yes, you can.
So is that just one more roll?
It's still double. Or... yeah.
Oh, way better.
You could see there was a few people who have, like, rotten vegetables, tomatoes, and even rocks and other pieces from the rubble. You see someone who clearly has, like, an old rotten thorax from one of the acid ants holding in his hand. You do see a few of the other paladins that are there. Like, enough! You know better. Give them the damn chance first. We already have enough shit to rebuild. At that, the crowd starts dissipating for now. Thankfully, one of the Dragonborn paladins seemed to insist on shuffling off this crowd and dissipating them, seeing that talking things peacefully. Obviously, there's no aggressions being had. And you can tell a bit of glint of hope for some people, the fact that there's now at least a real fortification here at Stratham that maybe they'll be able to fall back to.
And then I go over to Junius and say, do what you can to make the people trust you. Our image in this land is very important. We need to get the people on our side, not just the Warforged.
I will proceed with the banquet first. Something to at least lighten their hearts and show that they are welcome within these walls for safety. Obviously, with these moons, I don't think they would turn down the protection. After that, we can start working on more diplomatic situations and what they might need help with.
I encourage you to make personal relations with some of the townspeople. Knowing a few names and the livelihoods of some of the people goes a long way.
I'll be sure to become more intimate with their personal lives.
We shall make Yorickson proud.
For the Freeforged.
I give him a shoulder pat, and then I go find Leoris.
Alright. As everyone is starting to post up with this, do you see that Atmund and Bailey are familiarizing themselves with the teleportation circle, starting to memorize some of the first floor, working their way around and getting used to the turrets and ins and outs of this place, as it's pretty much an instantaneous massive castle of defense. You can even see that Junius Lucius is going into the main hall, planning out how to set out the various tables and food courts to be able to welcome people in, to get them more familiar with the home and allow them to become more comfortable and acclimated to the new and more intense fortifications.
Yes, finally, the castle will have doors from day one.
Finally.
We have
Amazing.
the technology.
A huge design improvement.
It's like a Civ 5 tech tree. You're at the end if you've discovered, space and you can't sail a boat.
Yeah, and then you're like, oh, wait, I missed this H2 technology. You scroll all the way back through and you research doors.
And the entire time they'd gotten this far without any form of door.
Our spaceship didn't have doors.
We have
We just-
spaceships, but not wheels. We're cogs.
You just pulled a privacy curtain over the door of the spaceship.
Actually, they just had a hole in the wall and they welded it shut when they took off.
Alright. Especially with the mass fortifications here now. You can see that Narlgos and Knudsen seem pretty inclined to stay here. Try and help out the situation. Shintri is meandering about and just kind of taking in, and hilariously enough, you're not sure if it's her being an elf or if it's her from being Underdark. She's kind of like looking at things and kind of like almost sneering at them being so gaudy and gauche in her opinion.
You surface folk.
Pretty much. Like, obviously there's a few things that are a little more illustrious to her, but this heavy metal and very Art Deco style, especially with the symbol of the Iron Father and all that, it's just very ew to her. It's just, it's all very in your face.
Uh,
Not enough spider webs, clearly.
Goes to like, Chantry,
Mm-hmm.
if this place is bothering you, we can always go somewhere else.
I think I might take a walk around town a little bit. This is not exactly really appealing to my eyes.
Would you like some company?
I would like that.
Alright, let me pack up my things.
let's go over. Pull my notebook back together. Put my sketch and chalk away. My bag and head over.
Go to have a wonderful after devastation walk as Stratham continues its repairs and just kind of taking in the town.
Oh, yeah, to get some extra PR, I'm gonna help clean up the bug corpses.
Alright. It's easy enough to tell that with especially the ants and the other insects, whatever the moon did made them probably twice as fucking large.
Yikes.
Alright. So with that, you do see between going about town, as well as Lucius planning out a feast for the night to try and welcome the townsfolk to come in, get a little more acclimated and see the insides of this fortification, so they're not entirely in the dark. Alex just slides her way up to the roof and starts getting a beautiful view. Seeing the distance between Cromsteel helping around town, all the other people are doing their best to clean up. Some are kind of being a little wary. Jonas Lucius and Otman attempting to try and get people to at least come and enjoy some of the foods that will be made for the night for everyone, so they don't have to worry about obviously making anything to eat for themselves and just be able to focus fully on the town. Shintri is going to kind of take in the more rustic life, just kind of looking at things, and seems more retracted. It's one thing to be traveling on the road. There's still the more illustrious locations that you had originally visited, especially between the castle and everything. You can tell there's a small sense that she feels this is a little bit beneath her in a way, and she's still kind of struggling with the fact that she won't exactly have the lavish life that she kind of wishes that she could have kept, but is a much better option than attemptedly being fodder for maybe another vault or whatever other schemes are going on in the Underdark right now. I was not expecting it to be so aggressive this far out in some days. It seems
Aggressive?
like the people, they seem, it's rude to call them feral out this way.
I think I understand. They are free, Shinsu. They live without the fear that we did underground.
It is so very confusing. And especially, why do so many listen to men that are so arrogant and brutish? And they have no elegance to carry with it.
That is just something that is different here.
It is strange to see the other in veneration. Do they not fear what the Spider Mother offers? I've still seen her children even here on the surface.
It's likely many are unaware of her completely.
Unknowing that she's ever watching even here. Children walking everywhere, hiding in corners.
Watching, sure. She has little power here without her servants.
I suppose I should be thankful for that. Though, You curiously does strength upon your goddess. I won't deny the starlight and the moons, the ones that are at least not trying to kill us, are quite gracious in the sky.
They care for and protect us.
Are you sure she's protecting me? I just feel like if all this chaos is truly that rare, perhaps it is some form of cruelty from Loth. Torment of me walking away from her.
The Dark Maiden loves us all equally, Shintri. If it is by the Spider Mother's hand that this chaos has been brought upon us, then it is by Eyeless Rise that you have weathered it through unharmed.
See that Shintri will take out a symbol of Loth that she's been carrying this entire time. Very hesitantly go to outreach it and just drop it into a pile of rubble. Turns back towards you. Could you teach me some of her prayers?
I'll teach what I can, but most of it comes from within. From you.
I will try to be strong like you then. Though I am still very scared.
But you'll find trouble yourself. That you will stand taller than you have ever before.
With that, she, especially nodding and acknowledging that, kind of goes from kind of a slouched, kind of trying to hide herself position to back to a more proper and upright form when how you had first met her. Back in the mines. And I feel like this is a good spot to leave off on, as people are spread out about the town, trying to build a better reputation for some, others recovering and figuring themselves out, or having a nice drink as they admire from the roof 80 feet up, looking over the township and into the forest lands above. And then the future preparations, now that the teleportation circle is set, of the destination of the pit along the way.
Yes.
We've lost our best bodyguards.
Now Zin and
Lost
Noah.
now.
What do you mean?
Altman and Bailey, no.
We knew this day was coming.
He couldn't stay forever.
We can't rely on our get out of jail free card anymore.
He's also got to make sure that Millie didn't change all the fucking words already.
A bit.
Only changed some of them.
God damn it!
Iron Father drools his Ward 1.
At that, everyone gets 1,000 XP for the night.
Hooray!
It's a meaty griffin.
Look, if I had been Iron Stride, I would have clapped that man myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
The god or the griffin?
No, I mean, Braxton, fuck that.
Yeah.
At the same time, goddamn, what a fucking intense session.
Yeah.
It was like we were out camping, it was so intense.
Judging me.
I accidentally went
Okay.
into Iron Stride's character sheet and I was
I've-
like, what do I
I've
have to
come-
do?
bad.
Shit, hell.
I've come to my conclusion.
Leave body
In the
forever.
words of Skyrath Mage, I'll
I
not
will not-
report you.
I will not report you.
I shall not report you. Very good.
I will say it's
When you ran off, I
entirely.
was like, holy shit.
I will say
Please.
the deciding factor there was you basically flipping off Zaimon and giving her the boon back.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Did I help?
Oh, fucking definitely. Are you kidding me?
I mean, with Leor's.
Oh, that one.
But Leoris, think of the great benefits that I now have for suffering 4 of my hit die permanently.
Opens up
Oh,
his
yeah,
chest.
Leoris never has to heal you again.
Yeah, I heal automatically.
You can't
Aren't you
die.
happy? No, I have to be conscious for it to.
Oh,
Yeah, if he goes down,
Everyone
it's
can die.
damn.
Yeah, if he goes to 0, it does stop.
Okay, that's a very good choice. Because I was like, oh shit, you just get back up in one turn if you get knocked down.
Gets back
That'd
up.
be
I'm
busted.
not done.
I didn't hear no bell.
I could do this all day. Now I'm just curious what would have happened if I had have given like all 9.
you just die.
Die.
All your skin
No.
just immediately erupts into bark. You become the iron bark tree.
Oh god.
He looks at you
You
like,
switch places with her. You
oops.
become the god.
Oh no.
You pass the test.
I become the god, but now I'm trapped.
Mhm.
You take her place.
There must always be a Lich King.
oh,
I'm excited to see if you guys giving her all those hit dice is gonna do something that fucks us later.
Well,
It's
gonna-
totally gonna fuck
It's
them.
gonna
but
be
we-
like
we
Simon
need
turns around and
someone.
goes, haha, I will fuck you now, and for each hit dice we've lost, we get like a point of exhaustion or something.
You think I care right now? I get more power to fuck Bloodbane. Fuck Bloodbane.
To be fair, we needed at least one person with the blessing so we can open other pits, you know. Other
Yeah,
vaults.
and depending on history, we've got 2 or 3.
It's 2. He said in the games room that
did he?
Nishi would give it back.
Okay, well.
It's
Do
me and you, pal.
Only the
Yeah, I feel-
stinky robot boys.
Yeah, true.
Take your shit back!
I'm surprised you didn't, like, get rid of the power as well.
No, literally what I said. Iron Stride took the Iman gauntlets of giant power to kill giants.
Yeah,
This is literally the same thing.
Iron Stride even said practically your words at one stage. I will use the weapons of my enemy to destroy my enemy.
Yeah, Grom still thinks this is a perfectly reasonable thing to do, even if it fucks him later.
Yeah, fair enough. Can't fault you there.
No, I know it's very equivalent.
It's totally equivalent.
Equivalent exchange.
Yeah.
Getting cool gauntlets made by a giant smith is not the same thing as sacrificing your life for it to a
Because you wiggled your eyebrows at him very convincingly.
I did, eh?
Hey, buddy!
Look, we don't have a bard in our party with plus 17 to persuasion. We gotta make do.
Not yet. I have a plus 13.
Close.
Getting there.
At the same time,
I'm only level 9 as well.
I'm very glad you had your inspiration for that crop steal, because there's about to be a lot of rotten fruit and acid abdomen thrown at you.
Being summoned for
They start
Boruto.
throwing rust monster antenna at you.
Okay.
Anyone had
GG boys.
asked?
Goodbye.
Bye. If anyone had asked what Leoris was actually drawing, she was making a portrait of Elaine.
Portrait.
That's amazing.
What, to like show the guards?
Yeah.
Bruh. Bye.
Nice. Alright, I gotta go. I'll talk to you later.
It's been fun!
Oh, okay. Can I come?
Yeah, man, sure.
No,
See
yeah,
ya.
else permission to come.
Do it.
I'm literally come.
Do it now.
Understandable.
Nice.
Well, it's 1 AM and I have a crushing headache, so not
Yeah,
session.
you go get your sleep.
Rest well, Nikolai.